Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your September reading. Okay, take a deep breath. And for the next 30 minutes, let's talk. The extendeds are now full videos. So we'll break here, but I'll keep going and film it all at once. I don't like breaking the flow anymore. First card out. 10 of Wands in reverse. So many things seem performative. So many things seem like just something you have to do. Romance maybe on the top of that list. You're more interested in other things. You're more interested in, you know, these big life goals, these dreams, but it seems like everything is stuck. And of course, everything is in retrograde, or quite a lot of planets. So being bold, being brazen, taking risks doesn't help. It just makes things more tense. Generally, risks help. Generally, the bold are rewarded with fortune, so they say. But when you have Jupiter in retrograde, and then it opposes Mercury, which is also retrograde, and you have this much deeper Uranus retrograde going on across from you, what you're building up to is a time where you figured out, or you think you figured out, what direction you want to go in, but you can't seem to find a road that'll take you there. It seems like no roads are open, in fact. But you have all this energy. You want to go. You have a plan. You have a dream. This is very frustrating. In the midst of all this, your friends, your family, your significant other, they want to hang out. And you're like, yeah, that's cute. I want to hang out too, but I also have a lot to do. Can I just get going? Well, no, you can't. Hey, I dislike it even more than you. So, what can be done? When you can't push ahead with your dreams, maybe it's a time to get really honest with yourself and work on mental recovery, emotional recovery. Be honest about the things that are really hurting you, caging you in. Things that perhaps you're too uncomfortable with to talk about with anyone. Things that really need to be spoken about. A lot of times, crazy things can be happening in your life, and your ability to be silent just makes it seem like nothing is going on at all. But it's because you're not just silent, it's like you're unresponsive to it. You don't get triggered by it even. You just put it away somewhere. This retrograde is not going to let you get away with that. You have to look at stuff. And especially whatever that elephant in the room is. And especially if it has to do with someone you really love. You know, your watery nature is very loyal, but it's also deeply empathetic when it comes to the people closest to you. And this may be a very strange truth-telling because it requires you to tell the truth about somebody you love dearly, but for one reason or another has become hugely burdensome. Now, some of you are afraid that if you say something, that if you in any way voice your upset, that it will mean that you don't love the person, that it will mean that something bad will happen to that person. You guys are very superstitious. That it will mean somehow that you're ungrateful. But Scorpio, there's got to be a line between being grateful and being loyal and hurting yourself, or doing so at the cost of yourself. And this cost is getting higher and higher. What kind of rest do you need? Here we are at the full moon, the Pisces full moon. Oh yes, there it is. There it is. And there you are. That young, innocent, the whole world is in front of me version of you. What does it take, Scorpio, to get you back here? What kind of rest do you need? What is it that's so full up, but you just can't carry it anymore? And it's crazy because you filled the cup, so you're like, you hate yourself for it. Like, I should be able to carry this. This is my doing. I did this. But Scorpio, that's not how things work. You want them to work that way. You want everyone to have this insane level of responsibility for other people's feelings, which is why most of the time you're disappointed in people, because you can do it, but not the rest of us. And here, this is why most of us can't do it. Look at how hard this is on you. Look at how you've turned loving somebody into this terrible, terrible obligation that makes you have to choose something over yourself again and again and again. And the moon wants to talk about it. The moon wants you to tell the truth about whatever is so embarrassing, painful, whatever, to you, that it's isolating you. That you're isolating yourself. And who is this truth about? And why does it feel so much to you like an ultimate betrayal to even say out loud, I don't know if I can do this? Then again, how often do you even get to say that at all? Let alone about something this important. Sometimes when you need rest, you'll consume instead. Are you tired of consuming yet? Stop spending your money. That's not what's wrong. You don't need anything else. You have to get more mature about money anyway. It's a good time to make a plan, you know, just get all your ducks in a row. But more than anything, just understand that this emotional turmoil that makes you go out and buy things, you don't need any of those things. And if this somehow is tying into a mother figure for you who's showing up super strong, then buying stuff is not going to heal that wound. Buying stuff is not going to make that person be the way, however you want them to be. Buying stuff is just a way to create more stress for yourself later, because then you'll have that much more stuff to have to put away, take care of, right? Pack, unpack, whatever it is, pay for later, pay off your credit card, whatever it is, you're going to have to pay for that meaningless thing that you chose to spend money on to distract yourself from the things that are truly too big for you to handle. And for some of you, it really has to do with confronting this mother figure, even if it is the mother within yourself, and how devastatingly difficult it is right now to maneuver that situation. Now, for those of you where this is playing out much more specifically with a water sign, with a Pisces or a Cancer, you're so at your wit's end with it, and yet you have been completely silent. And that's why you're kind of faultless in this. You're blameless, because no one, even if you have been terrible, no one can say anything because you're just not there. There's nothing to bounce off of. There are no words to bounce off of anyone because you're not saying anything. You're not doing anything. You're just not there. But again, a coping mechanism, a way for you to keep from having to talk about what's going on with you. It doesn't even matter what's going on with somebody else. It's not even like you're trying to get away. You just want to keep your own stuff hidden. And that doesn't look very possible right now. The full moon, the judgment, everything. It's like, you know, the reading being done on the full moon. Here, another, right? Cancer, moon, like exposure. Somebody help the Scorpio. The Scorpio's never going to say anything. The Scorpio's never going to, you know, I'm reaching my limit. Everything is becoming performative. I don't want to do this anymore. But I don't know how to say I don't want to do this anymore because this person means a lot to me. I get it. The thing is, You can't gamble with other people's feelings. You can't gamble with other people's money. You can't do anything shady right now without getting in a lot of trouble. And you may think, hey, I'm just being a good person. I'm not gambling with anyone's feelings. If you're not telling them the truth, even if that truth is, I feel trapped, then you are toying with their feelings. Think about that. Drink something, please. Now, the other thing that comes across very strong here is this emotional dealing with other people. Can you collaborate with people? Can you actually work with other people? Can you do it when you're not the boss? When you're not the one that has final say? And if you can't, isn't this a great thing to figure out now so you can go your own way? Do something where you never need to collaborate if you don't want to. That's okay too. But isn't it a good thing to be honest with yourself about, instead of trying to, fit yourself in a shape that just doesn't hold for you? It's something that comes up, this idea of collaboration. So it's worth, is it worth the trouble? Is it worth the trouble working with other people? This is coming up a lot for you, especially if you are a Scorpio moon. Something to think about. Now, as a Scorpio rising, we have to think about this Mercury retrograde being in your house of intimacy, right? The ruler of your house of intimacy is Mercury. It's retrograde. And where is it retrograde? In your 12th house. So when I tell you that you are yearning, again, especially if it's this like really strong water energy that's pulling you, if you are yearning for a past love, and they are yearning, the toxicity here in this middle, oh my God, because it's under the guise of like, I want to, it's time that I tell you the truth. And the opposing party or the very much so up for it party is like, I want to tell you the truth too. You deserve to know the truth. It's like, who's afraid of Virginia Woolf is what's going on here. Like it's a lot. So Scorpio rising specifically, be very careful. It's so easy right now with this 12th house nonsense going on for you. It's so easy with Mercury right behind you there, pulling you backward to find a way to make this past relationship seem like it was, oh, it was the one. Oh yeah, for the next 3 weeks, you're going to think, until the middle of October, you're going to be like, no, that person, no, she was the one. No, he was the one. No, they were the one. Okay? Yeah, and here's the really fucked up part. If you go back and experience it, it will feel like, yeah, I did the right thing. This was definitely the one. That's the part that's the scariest, is that for a while, it will live up to what you think. It's only when you start to think about the fundamentals of both of you as people and how much have you really changed that things get a lot more realistic. Okay? Now, having said that, you need to make a new long-term plan in terms of your serious relationships. And that can include someone that you go back to or let back into your life, whatever it is. But, having said that, it has to be a mature, new beginning to things. Even if it starts off on this like toxic retrograde tip, it's fine. But moving forward, even the relationships where there's nothing wrong, this is the perfect opportunity to redefine those relationships and give them a new life and consciously go into each one being like, yes, I love the relationship we had and I love the way it's going, but I want to begin a new relationship with you. Even if this is something you're doing in your own mind, you don't need to freak anybody else out by doing it, but it will reset parts of you that right now, honestly, don't take this the wrong way, may not be very nice. You guys get stuck in your ways a little bit. You don't realize how you look at people. You don't realize how you talk to people sometimes. You don't realize your tone sometimes. And when you are around your friends a little bit or you're alone a little bit too much, it comes out way more. So I think making the conscious effort to be like, I want to be in a new relationship with you. I want this to be a clean slate, as in we're starting from the beginning. That's the level of respect. That's the level of excitement. That's the level of commitment. That's the level of joy that I want to bring to this. If you do that in your existing serious relationships, whatever kind of relationships they are, you will find such immense satisfaction in this time. And also you will find that those people who, some of them whom you might not have thought were reciprocating properly or enough or appropriately, sufficiently, you find that the reciprocity is genuine. They want to do it. They want to give that love back to you. And that feels really good. And hopefully that will show you this thing that I'm saying, that there are aspects of you that do, like anyone does, do deserve a reset. Having said that, anything you want in September all the way into mid-October, the only way to get it is to be nice. So if you're not going to be nice, it's not going to work. Okay? Let's leave it there. And in the extended, let's see, what do I want to talk about in the extended? We should talk about, now the extended, we're turning more into like this more existential kind of thing where we're talking about theory, we're talking about life, we're talking about practical solutions to the things that have come up here. So for example, you need some outside stimuli. You need to get out and have some more fun. You need to be around different people. This is a very simple way for just going by that first card, to distract yourself from how slow and frustrating the part of your life that you want to follow full force is going. So things like that. But more than that, what else are we going to talk about? This long-term plan with these relationships. This thing about getting smarter with money, right? Just going more in depth into those questions and then shuffling through and finding answers, but also talking more about just real world solutions to these things. Okay? So we'll cut here. I love you, love you. All right. Now let's keep going. So first off, let's look at this world card.